Hey everyone, Shawnta Jackson here. I am the author of the Journal of a Woman with Lived Experiences, a 21-day guided journal. And welcome to today's live discussion. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And as always, my purpose in life is to help people to help themselves and others. Today, our topic is the path to success. And I'll be joined by three-time author, coach, and transformational speaker, Tamika Thomas. Tamika Thomas is joining me from Riverside, California. And again, our topic for today is the path to success. And she'll talk to us a little bit about what that means and provide tips for us. Thank you for joining, and I'll welcome Tamika. Hey, Tamika, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Yeah, so today I'd like to talk about, so you made a post on Instagram and you provided like 4 simple steps for the path of success, but really the path for clarity and success. Would you mind kind of just walking through those steps with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like privileged and honored to be able to coach women into clarity. That's one of the gifts that I believe God has given me. And it really starts with a mindset, and it starts with women being clear in their mind of what they want, right? So oftentimes we get pulled from so many different directions, and we feel like we should be what our mom wanted us to be, what our dad wanted us to be, what social media, right, portrays and puts out there, or what our best friend. And oftentimes it's something internal that we've always did, or that we always wanted to do, but we don't know how to get there. So there's the first step is really getting clear, like getting clear with yourself and being truthful with yourself. The second step is to not compare. Like, you have to put away comparison. You know, as Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of all joy. So you will feel like a hamster on a wheel, right? Just turning, if you continue to compare yourself. The other thing is to stop complaining. So many of us have like greatness within us. We have great lives, but because it doesn't look like the highlight reel that old girl puts on social media, or the highlight reel that your mama or your daddy tell you that you're supposed to have, you're complaining. So you're constantly complaining about, I wish this was like this, and you can't get clear because you're complaining, you're comparing. And then the last one is compromising. You're compromising who you are, right? And so I work with women, and some of the thing that they want to do is just be a stay-at-home mom. I shouldn't say just be a stay-at-home mom, because that's a huge task that your girl never wanted to do, right? I've never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but there are women that are graced with that. And so they compromise because the world says you can't function on just a one income, or the world says that you should, you're nothing if you're just raising kids at home. And so they compromise, and they end up in these dead end jobs where they're unhappy and they're unfulfilled because they're compromising. So do not complain, do not compare, do not compromise, and then that will help you get truly clear on your success and what you should be doing in life.
Yeah, thank you for that. So when you started out talking about, your parents and society and people say this is how you should be, and for me, a lot of people ask me for favors or ask to do certain things of me, and some motivational speeches and some advice that you get, just because the person sounds good when they're saying it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is good advice. And or it could be. So I'm thinking about Steve Harvey. He says, think about what you're good at and what people always ask you to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have any boundaries, and if you're not clear on who you are, just because they ask you to do it, and just because you're good at it, it doesn't mean that that's your purpose, or that's something that you want to do every day to make you happy. I've been on this for the past couple of months on this transition of me just kind of changing, just really re-identifying what it is that I want to do.
Mm.
I want to do it. When I was younger, as a child, I always wanted to play TV. And I used to be a VJ, and I used to introduce videos in the mirror and introduce different topics. And so this is actually a hobby for me. This is something that what I'm doing right now, I enjoy doing because it's something that I always wanted to do. But there were things that I was interested in that I didn't do because my parents, actually my father, it was like, no, that's not what I wanted to go to school for cosmetology. No, you can't go to school for cosmetology. I wanted to go to school here. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to, just different things. I kind of like my path. It was like, okay, is it okay for me to do this? So I do resonate with the other women who sometimes we do things because we think that's what we're really being people pleasers, and we're fitting into the frame of what others think about us, and we're not really being true to ourselves.
Absolutely. Sorry to cut you off, but as you were talking, I was thinking of this constant, the word that I've kind of lived by this year is one, pivot, and then two, readjust, right? So pivot is actually just making small steps to where you're supposed to be. Oftentimes we think that there has to be like this huge transformation, and it's really, I'm not a huge I do like sports, but I'm more of a football girl. But I know in basketball they do a lot of pivots, and I know you dabble in basketball a little bit, right? I know you know a little bit about basketball.
I'm a boxing fan.
Okay, all right, cool. So I know that when they have that ball, they have to make very small moves, and if they move too much, it's a foul, right? They're traveling, and so often we think that it has to be this huge, like, adjustment or this huge, and it's really small pivots. And I'm in total agreement with you. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean that you should be doing it. I think that I'm a pretty good cook, but I would never be like, okay, I'm going to open up a restaurant, because it's not something that I would find fulfillment in, or I would find joy in, right? From a very young girl, I've always been the friend that people have come to confide in, to talk to. And so I realized, and I enjoyed it, right? So it wasn't like I felt like this pressure or this burden. So I do believe that when you're looking for your purpose and you're looking for clarity in your purpose, it has to be something that you would, the cliche is something that you would do if you didn't get paid for. Now, sis, go get that coin, go get paid for it, right? But you want to be able to do something that you would do for free.
Yes, and I agree. And actually yesterday, and I sent you my activity that I had did, but yesterday, so I have a board, and I'm a planner. I have quarterly goals. I know what it is that I'm working on, what tasks I have to do next, what I have to do to get there. I'm really good with setting my my SMART goals and my SMART objectives, and I stick to it and I check it off, and I actually get a high and a thrill off of checking things off. And when I'm not busy, I go crazy. It's weird. I complain about it. So anyway, I have this board and had all of these things that I wanted to do with my business. And then I was even in the process of starting a second business. And then the book and the personal brand, like, it's all this big vision. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Then I looked at it last night. I said, I don't want to do any of this. I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. This is not, no. And so I have to prioritize, like, just not. So there's the 8 dimensions of health. And some people say 12 or 7 different numbers, whatever. So we have these dimensions of health, or, so life is it's more than just finance and career. And what I'm finding right now, a huge trend, especially amongst women, everything is like who you are, and your value and your worth is based off of your career. We did that to men, and now we're doing it to ourselves. And so I really had to step back, and I had to ask myself the question of, what is it that I really want in life, and what do I value? Not just career, job, income. I pretty much got that figured out. So I know I'll be okay with whatever it is that I choose to do. I'll succeed in it. But it's like, what do I really want? I want a lifestyle of leisure. I'm often overcommitted. And even so, I want to still have my consulting agency, but I want to spend less hours doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
more time, I want to focus on my health and just, I want to make smoothies and work out and have time to do it, and not just be in bed because I got to work because I'm so tired, I can't do anything. I want a social life. And I want to focus more on being creative. I like this platform that I'm doing right now. And after I did that, I actually had ideas and I did the outline for my next book. Because I gained clarity and I was honest with myself about what it is that I really wanted, not what others expected of me, not what people know me to be good at, and not what I've already put out there. It's my life. I can change my mind as long as I'm not hurting myself. I'm not hurting my son, my family. I'm not borrowing. I'm not stealing. I'm not begging. And I feel like I have the right to change my mind, and I don't owe an explanation to anyone.
Listen, period. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I like to say that I look for holistic success. I often tell my kids, so the people that are following, people that are listening, that have followed me for some time, they know that I am blessed to be the mother of 8. Me and my husband together, we're a blended family. And so we have 8 children, 6 of which are under our roof. The other 2 are adults, and so they're doing their thing. But I always tell my kids, for me, success is them coming, showing me they TikTok videos. Success is me being able to go take my son to football practice, to be able to do, to really be a mother, like holistically, right? And I often tell my kids, I will be damned if I'm out here speaking to the world, coaching these women, and then my children are not happy or my husband is not happy, right? I want to take vacations. I want to be able, so I hear you, sis. Like, I want to be able to travel and say, babe, let's take off for a month. Let's do this, and that for me, that's success. That are being able to say, you know what, it's Sunday. Let's lay in the bed and let's make pancakes, like we have gotten away. And I contributed to, this false reality that we have on social media, and the flip side of that is many social media gurus or, these influencers, they make you believe that the laptop life, that's how it's supposed to be. You're going to be at the beach somewhere, and that's not reality. People that are looking to going into entrepreneurship, it takes a lot of work. It takes long hours. It takes sleepless nights. Last night, I did a class, and so I was so amped up. And I'm sure Shawnta, when you're up and you're giving, sometimes it's hard to unwind. And then I knew I had this morning, so I went to bed about 12, and then I was up at 5, and I'm like, goodness, but that's true entrepreneurship, right? Because you have notebooks and journals of pages of stuff, right? That's what they don't show you on the gram and on Facebook, right? They don't show you that. But to have that holistic success where you could say, okay, if I choose to grind, I'm going to grind, but that's not what I don't have to grind. I don't have to be in that grind. Like, I'm with you, and I'm so aligned with that. And I have finally got clear on who Tamika is, right? So, I tell people I'm a little Cardi and a little Mary, and that's okay. And if you ain't messing with me, that's okay, right? I am completely who I am, and I am completely in my lane. Last night, I had this vision that I was driving, and I was in the quote unquote fast lane. And I'm in California, so anybody that has ever been in California, y'all know we drive, right? And we drive a little crazy.
Well, y'all mess up traffic. Y'all have like these big gaps between these cars on the freeway. I can't stand California traffic. I'm like, y'all high? Is everybody high?
I love it. That is hilarious. So in my vision, I was a little high, although I don't do that. But I was in the quote unquote fast lane, but I was kind of just cruising. And there were cars going around me and going, honking, because Californians, that's another thing. We're good for honking at folks, and we're good for speeding around folks and all that crazy stuff. And don't give us no rain, because we lose our mind. We don't know what to do in the rain, right? But in the vision, I was chilling and I was just driving. And then I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, Tamika, stay in your lane, go your pace. Don't worry about trying to, catch up with the person and this was last night. And I was like, wow, that's so deep. And if everyone could have that revelation, and I know that we hear that cliche and we say, we say it and we post about it. I'm staying in my lane, but are we truly doing it? Or are we constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses? Are we constantly trying to go around the detour and go, to speed up or to slow down or to, to compare with other people? So I thought that was like a pretty dope revelation that I got last night.
Okay, thanks. I want to ask you a few questions, but first I'm going to check in. We have a few comments on YouTube. We have Chris McDaniel, the grooming professionals. He's a barbershop in Laurel, Maryland. And he says, every Saturday, I look forward to these discussions. I like what your guest said. Don't complain, compare, or compromise. So you have actually, hey, Chris, and everybody else who's listening. I'm pretty sure he has a customer or two listening as well. And then we have my mother. She says, be yourself and do what makes you smile and inspires you within yourself. Great show, good vibes. Then we have Raquel in Las Vegas, and my mother's in Las Vegas as well. She says, happy Saturday. Her words are ringing true about not trying to be like someone else. So thank you. So it's working. Yeah, so we're doing good. We're helping somebody. Someone resonates with us. And actually, all three of them, they tune in faithfully on most Saturdays. So I really appreciate you all watching. So the path to success, we have planting and reaping, remaining faithful, operating in integrity, and trusting the process. Share your words of wisdom, and we can start with planting and reaping.
Okay, this is so good. And I want to say really quickly before I lose this thought, when your mom said about inspiring, that is truly my tagline, is to live a life to inspire and not impress. And I feel like if we all did that, we would, be who we're called to be. But the planting and reaping, so there's this story of the Chinese bamboo plant, right? And so the farmer goes out and plants it every single day. It waters it, it repositions it if necessary to make sure it's getting the right sunlight, to make sure it's getting the right nutrients every single day, right? So the seed is planted and the farmer knows one day I'm going to reap this Chinese bamboo plant, but nothing happens. And nothing happens, Shawnta, for 6 years. Nothing happens. But every single day, the farmer goes out, he waters it, he makes sure it's getting the sunlight, he's making sure it's getting the nutrient. And then miraculously, on like the 6 or 7 year, the Chinese bamboo plant shoots up, and it shoots up about 6 feet that first year, right? And then from there, like within the next 6 months, it shoots up like another 6 feet. So it becomes this humongous thing, but it doesn't happen for 6 years. So often we go out and we plant the seed, right? So let me talk to y'all for reals, right? So we go out, we start the business. We go out, we write the book. We go out, we go on the dates. We go out and we, start the school, and it feels like nothing is happening. So we stop watering. We stop watering by stop going out on the dates, by stop promoting our business, by stop telling people, by stop posting about it, right? And then we stop giving it nutrients. So we stop listening to positive messaging. We stop doing all that stuff. And then we wonder why our seed dies, because we expect it to shoot up within a month of us writing the book, within a month of us starting the podcast, within a month of us starting the business, instead of realizing, okay, I'm going to plant this seed and I'm going to wait for it to grow, and I'm going to water it, and I'm going to continue to tell people about it. Some of us have to get out and pass out flyers. Some of us have to be on Facebook and social media 3 times a day, posting when nobody's liking, right? When nobody's responding, but you just continue. And then I'm telling you, I promise you, eventually it's like you sprout out. And then that's when we have what these quote unquote overnight successes are, right? So these people that overnight, they look like they're a success, but no, they've been planting for years and then they finally reap the harvest.
I'm glad you did that. Actually, the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic, a few days ago, maybe like 3 days ago, I posted a photo and on Facebook, and I said that I'm well aware that what I'm doing is planting seeds. I'm watering them and I'm watching them grow. And I had a conversation with a friend, and I was talking about my first book. It's just like Illmatic, Nas, it's Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z. Those albums didn't they did not become classics until after they got big and you went back, right? So I'm well aware of this, but I do know that it's going to take time. Nothing's going to happen. It's not 6 months, 12 months. Whenever it does, it's going to be something that I can't fathom. And I've written that, and I know that. For whatever it is, like I said, whatever I choose to do, I'm going to be successful in it. It's just that I have to continue to do it. But I'm well aware, like even now, just with this show, this is a stepping stone. It's demonstrating my ability and capacity to be able to book guests, to host engaging conversations. It's showing my dedication. And in the event when it is time for me to grow, it's like whatever team I work with whatever producer, network, or however it may work out for me, it's nothing but respect, because you know what, this person has put in the work, and she does this. She's not expecting anything overnight. And so it'll be a good reciprocal relationship. So that's that. So that's my note on planting seeds, planting and reaping.
Can I say something really quick? Because I'm like, if I don't say this, I'm a burst. And I'm like, gosh, there's so much good stuff coming out of this conversation. But I was thinking about like Girlfriends, right? So much. I was thinking about the show Girlfriends, and I don't know if people know it's now on Netflix, right? And I don't have the respect that I had for it when I watched it when it was on air, like 15 years ago or so, right? Because now I'm older. Now I'm able to really understand the concepts that they were talking about. So what you were saying about those records, I always listen to Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and I'm like, man, that girl, you know what I mean? Because now I have a deeper respect for it and a deeper knowledge. But imagine if she never put that out. There's another great author. His name is Napoleon Hill. Most people know him. And his book is, the title is escaping me. But I'm sure you know about Napoleon Hill. Say it again.
Was it Think and Grow Rich?
Think and Grow Rich, right? So he wrote that book. And his wife was like, this is crazy. His colleagues were like, this is crazy. Nobody respected him for writing that book. He wrote it in the 30s. That book did not become popular until the 60s. And now it is, next to the Bible, it is the number 2 most purchased book or downloaded book in the world. So imagine the legacy that your book, I'm speaking into your life right now, sis. Imagine the legacy that I've created, that you've created, that our great grandkids, like his great grandkids can say, like, my grandpa did that, my papa did that, whatever they call him, right? I always say my grandkids is going to call me TT. So my TT wrote that book. My TT did that. But if I'm so worried that what if nobody buys it? What if nobody purchases? No, I can never leave that legacy. And then last thought, because I know we need to move on, an apple tree. You plant that one seed and the apple tree eventually grows, and think of the thousands of seeds that are in every single apple from that one seed, right? Like that just blows my mind. But if you never put that initial seed in the ground, you can never reap the harvest of the thousands of seeds that are to come.
Yeah. And just a quick check-in. We have Melissa, my best friend Melissa is watching from Las Vegas. Hey, Melissa. And we have Violet. She is in California.
Hey, Violet.
She says not too many people want to put the work in, and that they are seeking instant gratification. So that hit home for her. And she's been putting in a lot of work as well. So I see you. So we're talking about, for those of you who just joined us, the path to success and clarity. We've talked about so far planting and reaping, and I think remaining faithful. I think that kind of aligns. I think we've kind of touched on that already. But what do you mean by operating in integrity? What does that mean to you?
Oh my goodness. Like so many of us want it really like what Violet is saying, putting in the work. But integrity, like the true definition of integrity is doing stuff when no one's watching, right? So again, this morning when I was in my prayer and meditation time, I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, continue to do this privately so I could reward you openly, publicly, right? So many of us want to think that we could steal other people's content. I know that you've probably had it. It's happened to me where people like swipe my content or people do other things. And I'm like, I'm not even tripping. I'm going to remain in integrity and I'm going to continue to do the work and I'm going to continue to put one foot in front of the other. And I'm going to just watch. I'm gonna reap the benefit. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do privately. So whatever that looks like, tending my own garden, right? Doing the research, watching other YouTube videos, connecting, engaging, doing the work that, sending those scary DMs, sending those emails with like big people like you did with Anthony Hamilton, right? Do it like that's integrity and not asking anybody for a handout, not asking anybody to just put you on. We live in this put me on culture. And I'm not about that. I'm about the integrity of your work, right? I've been doing Tuesday with Tamika's for well over 10 years. I started with doing free at a continuation school with pregnant teen girls. And I would just go out there and I would give it to them just like I'm giving it now with the passion and with the fire. And that's integrity when nobody was paying me, when nobody was checking for me. And now my Instagram can blow up. Now the Facebook can blow up. Now the podcast can blow up. Now the books can sell, right? Because I'm operating out of integrity. And the thing about integrity is it's kind of like one of those scented candles that smell amazing and everybody's attracted to it. And when they walk into your room, they're like, what is that? What's that beautiful smell? That's what integrity is. People can smell it on you. They can see it on you. They can feel it on you. And when you're operating, the thing is when you're operating out of integrity, we can smell that too. And we know you just about to come up. We know you just an opportunist. So operating in complete integrity is crucial to create anything sustainable.
Yes, and it's okay. We're all human. It's okay to not know something and to be inspired by someone else. It's okay to learn from someone and teach others what you've learned from that person. There's nothing wrong with that. But when, like you said, with the integrity, it's just kind of like, oh, so you just gonna sit here in my face and you're not gonna even acknowledge or that you're not going to cite me. It's like plagiarism in college or high school or something, right? In your English paper, shouldn't you cite and reference? But people, in my opinion, I can tell it's character. So integrity is character, and anyone can pick up on your character and see a pattern and consistency in you. When you tell a lie or pretend to be something that you're not, people know that because you're lying. And when you lie, you can't keep up with it. And you forget that you said something. And then when you have a conversation with someone, that's those same things are not coming out, right?
Right.
So that's like one of my takeaways from what you just said about integrity. And I get it. Like, certain artists, and will reference back to hip hop. So I understand why people say I'm the greatest rapper alive and Missy Elliott, I'm copywritten, don't copy me. It's just like, I get it. I understand, but it's okay. I learn from people, but I always, because I am a person of character and integrity, I always reference them, cite them. I'm always promoting someone else's business or someone else's idea and not pretending like it's mine. Because people will know that. People will, like I said, when you have a conversation with someone, when it's time for you to really show face, people can sense that. And it's almost kind of like, game recognizes game. People that work hard, that have a strong work ethic, they recognize other people who work hard and that have a strong work ethic. Trusting the process.
My goodness. So That is so hard. First of all, like I'm not even gonna front and act like because even myself and how many years how much work I've put in, there are still days that I'm like, I'm done. Because trusting the process truly takes it takes you out of it, and you have to say, like, I know that I can't do this on my own. I just have to kind of watch and see, right? But when you trust the process, you know that something beautiful is going to come out of it. One of my signature speeches is the diamond process, and I talk about the steps that a diamond goes through in order for us to have that bling bling, on our ears, on our neck, on our fingers, or whatever. But if we don't trust that process, if we don't trust the cut that goes through it, because in this journey, there will be some cutting, and it will not only be like you cutting people off, it'll be like yourself, right? Some cutting off of yourself. I'm sure for you, Shawnta, like there's been some growth, and been some things that you've had to cut off. I know for me, there's been things that I just had to cut. Like I had to cut off of my own personal life, and also people that and I don't believe in like cutting people off. I believe in growing, and then they'll just fall off, right? And then that fire that comes with the process of will this work? The pressure that comes with it of being like a leader, being an influencer. People want those positions, but they don't know the pressure that comes with it. And then finally being presented, right? The process of being presented to the world. Trusting that process is not easy. And there's times that we want to rush the process instead of trust the process. But indeed, if we truly trust that process of becoming who we are called to be, everything falls into place. And there's no timeline, right? That's one thing that I want to really leave the audience is there's no like it needs to happen by this time or that time. There's no timeline. It happens when it happens, and we just have to trust. I've birthed myself 4 children, and one kid came 2 weeks prior to his due date. My other son came at 26 weeks, so he was extremely premature. My twins came at 30 weeks, right? So that was their process, and I had to trust it all. I had to trust. None of it looked the same. None of it felt the same. And just sometimes we think because I've done this before, this is how it's supposed to go. It ain't never like that. We have to completely not only trust, but surrender to the process.
One thing that I've recognized is that you got your baby in the background.
Yeah, trying to make sure. I'm like, please.
I saw you. I saw the hand. We saw the hand. Trust the process. And I was like,
process, y'all.
Okay, go back. Okay. So speaking of the process, what I've learned for me, and I've discovered this pattern maybe about 7.5 years ago. About 7.5 years ago, is that for me, it takes about 8 to 9 months for things to come to fruition. And it's a pattern. It's a consistent pattern. Like I said, I'm putting in the work. I know what my intentions are, and it always works out better than what I expected, or sometimes it's just unexpected. So, for example, I've been as an entrepreneur. I've been down. I've had only $7 in my checking account. I've had only $9, and I continue to operate. And just out of nowhere, a proposal that I submitted 3 months ago, I get notification that same week. I'm talking about I'm on the floor crying. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I can't move back home. I got to figure something out. I can't get a job. If I get a job, I will hate myself. And then that happens. But it was something that I had put in, and then I had, and so back to the 8 or 9 months, I had been putting in proposals and putting in proposals, not getting awarded anything, not getting awarded. And then it just all works out. So you have to just be consistent, persistent, remember why you were doing it. And I do think that it's important to, iron sharpens iron, right? And so your circle and the people that you surround yourself with, that really will help you in your good times, because when you have something positive, you want to be able to share that. It's no fun if you can't have anyone to share it with, or say, guess what happened today, and you're happy, right? But then sometimes you are when you are down and you're not that motivated, you need that person to say, you know what, I've been watching you do this, and you're going to do this, and just to remind you, because we're all human and we will have our down days sometimes. And then what you said about you don't believe in cutting people off, just kind of like distance yourself and they will naturally fall off. For me, I believe in just loving people from a distance. Mm-hmm. So that's how I say it. And the reason I say that is because I do recognize that sometimes, with family, I don't want to go around telling people to cut their family members off, right? But some people and some things, or some people, you literally have to love them from a distance and just accept who they are.
Absolutely. I look at it as, and I teach my clients to kind of categorize. We have energy drainers and we have energy givers. And oftentimes those energy drainers are our family, and I like to talk an analogy, if you guys haven't realized yet. And so we have certain apps on our phone that the moment you open up that app, it's like your battery dies, right? And you're like, shoot, and then you have other, like your power source, your cord, that it gives you power. So you plug into that when you need to regenerate and and sometimes those people that are like that app, that the moment you turn on your phone, your battery dies. It doesn't mean that you delete the app. It just means that you don't use that app all the time. You don't use it when you know that you're waiting on an important phone call. You don't use it when your battery is only at 2%, because sometimes it's us. We have to retry, we have to re-up, and we have to make sure that we're completely charged in order to deal with that energy drainer. So you deal with them, or you continue that relationship with them. But like you said, Shawnta, you do it from a distance. You do it, and you said something crucial at the beginning of our interview, which is boundaries. You learn to set boundaries with those apps that drain you.
Yep. Thank you for that. And we're going to begin closing out the show. But before we do, I want you to tell the audience just a little bit about, I know you have your podcast, but you also are a life coach and a 3-time author. And I'd like for you to share, your life coaching services and how that works. And then also a little bit about your books.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I am a therapeutic spiritual life coach. So I really partner with women that are in a transition and that are looking like they just feel this sense of stuckness, right? And they feel like they've tried everything, they've done everything, and they don't know where to go. I infuse it with a lot of God, because like I said, I'm a little Cardi and a little Mary, but I love God. And so I have a 6-week program that I'm launching at the beginning of the year, where I really partner with women to become the best version of themselves. And it's a lot of releasing old childhood traumas and childhood hurts, so we can be the best version of ourselves, because those things no longer serve us. But sometimes as adults, we're still operating in it. My book, I have a 21-day gratitude journal that is great for Thanksgiving. That's great for Christmas. It's a very short, it's a prompted journal. So I give you like a theme of the day. And then, probably very similar to yours, Shawnta. It's a theme of the day. And then there's a prayer to close out the day, and then an opportunity for you to reflect. And then I also have a book that's also for Black Friday that I'm going to be doing a bundle for both the book and the journal for $10. And the book is hashtag lesson learned, crutches to stairs. And it's 21 short stories of me from single motherhood, from the things that I went through, domestic violence, just a bunch of little stories to really help motivate. And then it's also prompted to give you opportunities to reflect. And then my podcast is Tuesday with Tamika. We are relaunching. Our first episode airs December 1st. It is amazing. It's real. It's raw. It's motivational. It's inspirational. And you could find that on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the things where you find a podcast. And then you could follow, everyone can follow me at IG. Thank you so much, Shanti, for putting that up. It's Tamika_Thomas_. And then Facebook is Tamika Thomas. My website is www.tuesdaywithtamika.com. I would love to connect with you all. I'm very much like Shanti.
Shawnta.
I'm sorry, like very much like Shawnta. I am a giver. Thank you, girl. You know what? I've been teaching all the girls. Correct, folks, when they say your name. I spent many years just letting people call me Tamika, and I'm like, it's Tamika. Yes. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And I'm here to serve. Like, that is truly, God has called me to be the bridge over troubled water. So I'm here to give and to serve.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And again, everyone, thank you for joining. Next Saturday, my guest is AD Dolphin. So if you all remember, I did the 10-day cleanse. So adherbs.com. So he's the founder and owner of that company. And so we're going to talk to him about just the cleanse. I think, because by next Saturday, we would have had Thanksgiving, right? Yeah. So after Thanksgiving, so my days get mixed up. So next Saturday we'll have AD Dolphin on, and we'll talk a little bit about the cleanse and just his entrepreneurship, his entrepreneurial journey. And have a great day. Have a great rest of your day. And please be safe. COVID cases are going up. I understand that we're socially isolated and some of us are lonely, and we would love to spend the holidays with family. But just keep in mind that if you bring people to your house, or if you go to someone else's house, there's different households in there. So just to the best of your ability, practice whatever precautions you can, and maybe even have someone serve food versus having everyone touch the utensils. So just go to the CDC website, so cdc.gov, for more guidance. Everyone be safe, and I love you, and I thank you so much.
Bye-bye.